Joining me to discuss the plight of global refugees is Hollywood actress and activist Kat Graham. She is a UNHCR high-profile supporter and a star on the hit TV show Vampire Diaries. Kat, welcome to the show.
Thank you so much. Thank you for having me. It's an incredible honor.
Well, firstly, let me ask you, how did you decide to get involved with the UN Refugee Agency?
You know, it's interesting because I was one of those young girls that was always quite aware of what was going on in the world. You know, I'm half Liberian, my mother's Jewish, so we always had this kind of dinner table conversation about what goes on in the world. It was something that I was raised with, that awareness having, and then my mom knew I was a big supporter of the UNHCR, the United Nations Refugee Agency, so from literally like age 14. And last year, I had a meeting with them, and I said, I want to be a part of what you guys are doing, whatever I can do to support, however I can campaign for you guys, please, let me know. And January of this year, they invited me to come to the Zahatri refugee camp in Mafraq, Jordan, where there are 100,000 Syrian refugees that have been forced to flee their homes. So I conducted interviews and met with multiple families and women, men, children. It was quite a profound experience.
Right, tell us more about that visit and your experience there. I mean, what did you feel when you looked at this? 100,000 people displaced living in a refugee camp.
There are so many different things that you feel when you're experiencing that, especially for me. You know, I'm living in a world where it's a world of red carpets and glamour and, you know, everything just is so fabulous. And, you know, you really learn to appreciate the simplicity the simplicity of life. You learn to see people, you know, and I learned that there was this deep identification that I had. I saw so many women and children that could be me easily, and that I could have been in that situation, and I would want people to get involved and to help me in any way and help support what me and my family are going through. And I think it's important for people watching that if they can get involved to go to stories.unhcr.org and find out different ways of how they can help. Tomorrow is World Refugee Day, and I think it's a great day for people to become more and more aware of what's going on in the world and how they can possibly help these people.
Right. In this role that you're playing right now, I guess, you know, you had a notion of what it would be like to be a high-profile supporter of the UN Refugee Agency, but it must also be a transformative experience for you.
Absolutely. You know, I didn't realize I didn't realize how much I would be affected by it. I knew that I wanted to help and be a part of it, but in a lot of ways I feel like these people truly have helped me and have shown me this deeper side of family and gratitude and resilience. You know, I met these incredible people that created shops in the refugee camp where they sold baklava to wedding dresses to shoes, and they are trying in whatever way they can to find, you know, any sort of normality and consistency within this world that they have been put in. You know, the UNHCR is doing everything they can do to support these people and make sure that they have everything they need, from blankets to kitchen sets to diapers. There's 6 babies born a day just in the Zahatri refugee camp. But there's still so much more that they need, everything from cash assistance to heaters, and there's so much more that we as a global community can do to support the UNHCR consistently, constantly, because what's happening in the Middle East, what's happening in Syria, the conflict isn't ending anytime soon. So we really have to take the initiative and make sure that these people, these families, these people that are like you and me, that have had normal jobs, that were dentists, that were nurses, that were in school, had to completely flee their homes and what they've known to form some sort of home in the desert. It's completely altered my entire mentality and the way I look at things, especially coming back from the trip and going back to shoot Vampire Diaries and going back to red carpets, and, you know, everything has a different weight to it now, for sure.
Right, as you mentioned, you're in Vampire Diaries. You've become a star in the United States. That show has been extremely successful. You've also got something like 1.2 million Twitter followers. You know, sometimes Hollywood stars, movie stars, television stars are criticized, and I think sometimes unfairly, for the role they play in kinds of projects like this. But they do have a role to play. They use their high-profile status to bring awareness to a serious problem.
Right. I absolutely believe that that's part of my journey. I absolutely believe that that has always been from, you know, as a kid, I always believed that it was always a bit bigger than just being fabulous. I think that's it. I'm not really interested in just doing it to be pretty and be famous. And it's just, you know, I've seen where that leads, where you become so self-possessed that it just kind of envelops you, and I just don't think that that's the route. That route is the healthiest way to go, and I just don't think that that's a useful way to use your image or your platform. I don't have as big of a platform as maybe other stars, but whatever platform I have, I'm going to use it to support this incredibly important cause. This is one of the most urgent stories of our time, and I really do. I believe and I know that it really needs the world's attention.
Right, talking about that platform, you know, you have a huge fan base, and as I just mentioned, you have
international. They've been great, incredibly.
Right, more than 1 million Twitter followers. How can how can your followers, your fans, get involved?
Well, I mentioned going to stories.unhcr.org. You can also just go to unhcr.org. There's different ways you can donate. You know, and a lot of it is just raising awareness. You know, we're doing these really cool online campaigns, as you mentioned, Twitter. I'm all about all that social networking and everything from the Facebooks to the Instagrams. I'm very connected to my fans in that way. So there's a million different ways for you to be of service to the world. And sometimes it's literally just a tweet, and it's just raising awareness and telling your friends. You know, I watched this really cool video of Kat at this Zahatri refugee camp, and she was interviewing these amazing people that were so inspiring, and we should help them. And, you know, it maybe is just a small way, but it might really help someone that really needs it. You can be the voice of people that don't have a voice right now.
Right, it may be a small way, but you're doing your bit. What would you like to see from national governments?
You know, it's interesting because I feel like there are a lot of things that that need to happen. What I would really love to see is the continued support of the UNHCR. America has been extremely supportive of the UNHCR financially, and I just hope that the rest of the global community is helpful, especially the neighboring regions around Syria, to continue to support them. Jordan, I witnessed firsthand, has been so incredibly supportive of the UNHCR and helping them. And but you know, it's a country that doesn't have as many resources as another country, as some of the neighboring regions, but they are constantly a home for so many different refugees, and they've been so incredible. So I hope to see that in other countries as well. I really want to see that, and I believe that they will.
Kat Graham, great work. Keep it up. Thanks for joining us.
Thank you so much. I appreciate this. Thank you.